Johan Cruyff, a true icon of world football. Cruyff was the primary pioneer of modern football, hands down. Firstly, he was one of the best players to grace the football pitch, suiting up for Ajax, Barcelona, and the Dutch national team in the 1960s and 1970s. Cruyff developed, advanced, and embodied a playing style. It was total football, the famous Dutch 4-3-3, and of course the iconic Cruyff turn skill move that represented probably the most radical and significant tactical innovation in the sport's modern history. Cruyff, who unfortunately passed away in 2016 of lung cancer, was 68 years of age. He left a tremendous legacy as one of the most important figures to ever touch a football. So as his son Jordi Cruyff, we're going to take over Barcelona and create a new legacy for Barca and Dutch football in a FIFA 19 career mode Dutch rebuild challenge. So here are going to be the goals and objectives for Jordi Cruyff at Barca. Number 1, and most importantly, the starting 11 must all be from the Netherlands. Number 2, we must sell all non-Dutch players at the club. Yes, that's right, you Lionel Messi, you're out the door. Number 3, we must win La Liga, a domestic cup competition, and the Champions League final, which we will play. Number 4 is that we have a 5-season time limit in order to complete the rebuild challenge. And number 5, we have to start Jordi's own dynasty at Barca, reminiscent of his great father. Let's get into season number 1. Now, this has been hands down one of the most highly requested rebuild challenges ever in the comments down below. I'm going to try and include all the comments that requested this and brought this challenge up, but a lot of you guys were asking for this one, so here we are. Before we get into the video, make sure to slap a like on it down below, helps out so much. Subscribe, hit that big red subscribe button down below. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Turn on the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, and make sure to comment down below if you have an idea that would fit the mold of a rebuild challenge. Now let's get into the video. And here we have the current situation here at Barcelona, the Spanish champions. Pretty much we only have one Dutch player in the side, and it's probably pretty much a useful player to have. It's going to be Silesen. That is the only Dutch player. It's pretty much dominated by some South American talent. There's a bit of depth in here from the La Masia Academy, but that is pretty much it. Silesen is going to be the only player left standing, but you know the drill with these rebuild challenges. Obviously for this one, everyone who's not Dutch will be on the transfer list. That's right, Lionel Messi, he chucked on the transfer list, Suarez on the transfer list. Every single player that we are able to sell in this transfer window will be sold, and that is how we're going to start off this rebuild challenge. We are going to go sign up some amazing Dutch talent throughout this rebuild challenge. We're going to sell a bucket load of players. We all know season 1 is the most hectic, so let's get straight into the transfer business. So our first piece of business here in this Dutch rebuild challenge under Jordi Cruyff is going to be a player departure, and it's going to be one of Barcelona's staples at left back in the past 5-10 seasons. It's going to be Jordi Alba, going to Manchester United for £57.5 million, and now 29-year-old 87 overall. He's off to England, he's off to Manchester, and it's 2 defensive departures to start off the rebuild. £3.8.5 million is what Fenerbahce is going to spend in order to pick up Thomas Vermaelen, the now 32-year-old centre-back. The Belgian ex-Arsenal man is off to the Turkish league. He's been an outcast at Barcelona for years now, and he's finally made his way out the door. Farewell, Vermaelen. So we're going to be having our first signing of the career mode here. Jordi Cruyff has picked up a man who Barcelona in real life have picked up. It is going to be Frenkie de Jong, the young central midfielder from Ajax in the Netherlands. The 21-year-old is headed to FC Barcelona just like he is in real life for £45.6 million. He is going to be the heart and soul of the midfield in this rebuild, and yeah, we're definitely going to be picking up a lot more players from Ajax over this career mode. Welcome to Barcelona, Frenkie de Jong. And it's back-to-back Ajax players coming into Barcelona. This time it is Van de Beek coming from Ajax for £34.4 million. Yet another 21-year-old, some youth in the midfield is getting injected into this Barcelona side, and Donny Van de Beek was the hero against Juventus in the Champions League. Surely grow in La Liga and perform well for us, but Donny Van de Beek, welcome to Barcelona. And in the midst of all these signings, it is going to be one of our bigger players at the club, our friend French centre-back, 24 years of age, Samuel Umtiti. He's going to be off to FC Bayern, off to the Bundesliga, off to Germany, £86.3 million. What a fee. That is going to be helping out the transfer budget so much, but farewell, Samuel Umtiti. And it's the name on everyone's lips at the moment. Matthias de Ligt, the 19-year-old centre-back, is going to be coming to Barcelona. We just had to pick him up. He is just such a great player, one of the best centre-backs in the game, let alone for the Dutch. It's coming over to Barcelona for £52.5 million. The still 18-year-old in the game. He's 85 overall already, slotting straight into that centre-back position. Yeah, there's a lot of rumours about him going to United, going to Barcelona. No one knows where de Ligt is going, but in this rebuild, Jordi Cruyff is going to pick him up for Barcelona. And look who it is, Champions League finalist this season, Liverpool's many heroes this season. It's going to be Jorginho Wijnaldum, ex-Newcastle player as well. He's making the jump to Barcelona for £30 million. He's joining us here for the Dutch Revolution, 83 overall, 27 years of age, just a solid player to pick up. And it's going to be yet another player who's going to look forward to a very busy summer in real life. Memphis Depay from Lyon. He is going to be out the door of Lyon in real life, and now in this rebuild, he is joining Barcelona for £52.2 million. The 24-year-old centre forward is going to be our main starting striker in this team. Was a flop at Man United, kind of revived his career at Lyon, and hopefully he can take it to new heights here. Welcome to Barcelona. Welcome to Jordi Cruyff's team. So it's a bit of a low-key signing here. We are picking up Pablo Rosario for £10 million. He is on his way from PSV. The 21-year-old central defensive midfielder is going to wear the number 26. He's a highly touted youngster and is going to be developing throughout the seasons in this career mode. He's got a decent potential, so we're giving him a chance here at the Dutch Revolution. Welcome to Spain, Rosario. Alright, so we had to splash the cash on another winger, and that is going to be Quincy Promes, coming from fellow La Liga side in Sevilla. We had to activate his release clause in order to even approach him, and that was £51.4 million. Kind of overpaid for him, but he's going to slot straight into that left midfield, right midfield position, wherever he wants to play. The 20-year-old, 83 overall, Quincy Promes, a very decent addition to the Dutch Revolution. Welcome to Barcelona, Quincy Promes. So it's going to be ex-Chelsea loanee, ex-Chelsea wonder kid Nathan Ake joining us here at Barcelona for £20 million. We picked him up from Bournemouth. Eddie Howe let the 23-year-old go, and he is going to be a great addition in our defense. He's going to be partnering up with de Ligt this season, so hopefully Nathan Ake has got a lot of clean sheets to look forward to here at Barcelona. And it is yet another defensive acquisition here. It is going to be Karim Rekic, the former Man City player, the ex-wonder kid in FIFA's gone by. We're going to pick him up here for £18.6 million. The now 23-year-old, he's still 23, 79 overall, got a decent mid-80s potential, so going to be a welcomed addition to our defense as well here at Barcelona. We're going to give him another chance at his career. Welcome to the Dutch Revolution, Karim Rekic. So a high potential Dutch defender in Van Drongelen is going to join us here. Probably one of our most cheapest signings in this entire rebuild, and in rebuilds gone by. Only be £4 million to pick up Van Drongelen from Hamburg in the Bundesliga. He's a centre-back but can play at left-back, and that's where he's going to be playing this season. 71 overall, but can grow into the 80s. So a lot of promise for Van Drongelen here in the Dutch Revolution. Hopefully he can deliver. So we've gone ahead and improved our depth in the squad here. We've picked up a backup striker. Luke de Jong is joining us here. The PSV striker is going to join us for £26.9 million, 82 overall. It's going to be very decent for a few seasons. So welcome to Barcelona, Luke de Jong. So it's been a while, but Arsenal have activated the release clause of our Portuguese right back Nelson Semedo. I actually had no clue, but I'm happy he's ended up getting out of the club for £37.2 million. A 24-year-old is off to England. He's joining the Gooners, and he's going to allow us to get a few more players in. And I almost forgot about picking up this player in this transfer window. Steven Bergwijn, coming from PSG. The young Dutch wonder kid has been touted for big things here, and we've gone and picked him up, recruited him for the Dutch Rebuild Challenge for £34.4 million. We activated his release clause, and the 20-year-old winger is on his way to Barcelona. Such a decent player. I'm yet to use him in FIFA 19 career mode, but now is the perfect time. 81 overall, still only 20 years of age. He's got such a bright future ahead of him under Jordi Cruyff. So it's yet another young defensive pickup here. It's going to be a backup in that right back position. Kenny Tete coming from Olympic Lyon, £10.9 million for the 22-year-old. He's 77 overall, but can grow in career mode. So Kenny Tete is going to be a great rotational player. So we've reached summer transfer deadline day in the first window, and we ended up spending £309.9 million and ended up selling £184.8 million worth of player. A successful window in my opinion. So we're going to end it off there and pick it up in January, but this is the side going into it. And I know you guys are wondering, there's a few other Dutch players we haven't picked up yet, but we can't. So we're going to have to wait until January or next season, but we still got some more big signings in the pipeline. Let's see how this side do in season number 1. So at the halfway point in season number 1, we're sitting on top of the Dutch boys, doing the job here in first place, 42 points, 7 points in front of rivals Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Real Sociedad make up the top 4, as well as Villarreal and Real Betis in 5th and 6th. We ended up winning the Super Copa, the preseason piece of silverware, 4-3 on aggregate to Sevilla. We are still in the round of 16 of the Copa de España, and in the Champions League we breezed past our group despite having 2 losses. We ended up going through with 12 points, Spurs in second with 10th, and Inter and PSV out of the Champions League, but we're going to come up against Hoffenheim in the round of 16. So we're going to start off the January transfer window with a bit of a weird sale. I had no idea. I never accepted this. I think it might have been Ousmane Dembele's release clause, but Real Madrid, Los Blancos, have gone ahead and purchased him for £91.1 million. I just got an email saying Dembele is departing the club, but the young French winger is off to Real Madrid for a massive transfer fee, and that's going to help out the transfer budget for this season and the next. I don't think the Barcelona fans are going to like that move whatsoever. And we're going to start off the January transfer window by agreeing a deal with PSV in order to sign Johan Zoet, a backup keeper for Jasper Cillessen, a wonder kid in a few FIFAs gone by now. I remember FIFA 14, he was a very decent goalkeeper to pick up. Zoet, now 27 years of age, 81 overall, is going to join us for £17.2 million and is going to be a very decent backup keeper. Welcome to the Dutch Revolution. So it's the transfer you've all been waiting for. The big man, the one of the best centre-back in the world, the Dutchman, Virgil van Dijk, is going to be joining us from Liverpool here. Yet another Liverpool player joining Barcelona, and he has not come cheap. We haven't been using swap deals so far in this rebuild challenge, but this is going to be the first one. We've swapped Arthur, the Brazilian midfielder, in for Van Dijk, plus £69 million. The now 27-year-old centre-back, 90 overall, is going to be the perfect partner for De Ligt. He's going to show him the way at centre-back and going to teach him so much. Virgil van Dijk, the marquee man in this Dutch Revolution. And thanks to that random Dembele move to Real Madrid, we're able to pick him up, and what a pickup it was. Welcome to Barcelona, Virgil van Dijk. And it is going to be a small player departure here, very minor. 1.7 million is the fee Nottingham Forest are going to pay for Oriol Busquets, the 19-year-old centre defensive midfielder, is off to England. So that is going to be it for the January transfer window. Only Van Dijk and Zoet we ended up picking up. So let's see how the lads do in the second half of season number 1. So I've actually thought about this, and I've gotten a few comments before on a few other videos saying to do some youth scouting in these rebuild challenges. So that's exactly what we're going to do here with our leftover money at Barcelona. We're going to pick a 5-star scout. Mr. Pedro Reyes is going to be off to the Netherlands for 9 months to see what he can find us. Hopefully it's going to be a high potential youngster, and we'll keep you updated if anything comes from it. So the Barcelona boys have followed the trend of a lot of other rebuild challenge teams in winning the league in season number 1. Jordi Cruyff has done the job by 9 points here in La Liga, 94 points, 29 wins in there. Atletico Madrid right behind us with 85, then Real Madrid 75, Valencia making up the top 4, and then Villarreal and Athletic Bilbao 5th and 6th. We're going to look and see who got relegated, and it was Huesca, Legan Leganes and Alaves, all going down to the second division. So we have an El Clasico Copa del Rey final. We have the chance to do the domestic double here with the Barcelona boys. Can we do it? That we're going to simulate it, but what a game we have to look forward to there. And it was our Copa del Rey finalist opponents in Real Madrid. It was an El Clasico in the Champions League semi-final. We ended up getting eliminated 4-1 on aggregate, so we got a lot of work to do if we want to be competitive in the Champions League. We're one game away from the final, but Real Madrid taking on Juventus in the final. A bit of the CR7 derby there. We've got a few young, decent Dutch talents in the youth academy from our youth scouts, so we might be signing them in the not too distant future. They are looking quite bright with decent potential, so they could have a future place in this Barcelona Dutch revolution. So this is the side going into the Copa del Rey final up against Real Madrid, an El Clasico to end off the season. It's going to be a massive game. Barcelona just lost to, was it Valencia, in the Copa del Rey final in real life, so hopefully there's no repeat of that in this Dutch Rebuild Challenge. We could tick off 2 trophy objectives here as Memphis Depay smashes a goal in the 24th minute to break the deadlock here. Can we continue on in the second half? Van der Beek goes off injured. That's a big one. Rosario comes on for him. But we're going to enter the last 20 minutes here. Is Real Madrid going to come back into this one, or we're going to be victorious? The last 10 minutes here, and Memphis Depay's opener was enough to seal the game for us. We end up winning the Copa del Rey in season number 1 as well as La Liga, so a Spanish domestic double for the Dutch boys. Jordi Cruyff having a very, very decent debut season here. So we're going to end off a rather successful season 1 with Jordi Cruyff. We still have a lot of business to do though in season number 2, so let's get underway. So we are starting off season number 2 with £400 million in the bank. Very, very healthy amount of money, and as you can see in the emails, we've sold a few players already. Number 1 is going to be Sergio Roberto again. He is off to Real Madrid. Real Madrid love picking up our players. Dembele and now Roberto is off to Real. Don't know if the Barca fans are going to like that one, but he's been sold for £27.7 million. And Liverpool have done a double swoop here. Piqué has joined the Merseyside club after they sold Van Dijk to us. They had to pick up another centre-back. They've gone for Piqué as well as Sergio Busquets. They're both off to Liverpool. So we've got a lot of business to do here in season number 2, so we're going to get straight into it. Let's see what Jordi Cruyff has in store for us. So here we have our first signing in season number 2. We couldn't pick him up last season, but it's going to be the ex-Inter man coming for £38.3 million. Stefan de Vrij, the now 27-year-old centre-back, is going to be a very, very decent defensive option here in the Dutch Revolution. He spent a few years in Serie A. Now he's making the switch to La Liga. Welcome to Barcelona, Stefan de Vrij. So the departures keep on coming here with Marc-Andre ter Stegen headed to the Premier League. He's off to Manchester City for £108.4 million. Pep Guardiola has activated his release clause. The 27-year-old goalkeeper, now 90 overall, the German, is now probably one of the most expensive goalkeepers in the world. What a sale there. Pep Guardiola ready to spend the cash. So I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of player departures this season, and we're just kicking it off right here with Ivan Rakitic headed off to PSG. He's off to France for £49 million. A Croatian 31-year-old midfielder, 87 overall. Jordi Cruyff is doing a full clear out here at Barcelona. So Real Madrid and Messi have done the unthinkable here. The Argentinian, pretty much best player in the world, is off to our rivals for £111.2 million, and our 32-year-old is moving to a fellow La Liga club, and what a way to do so. So many of our players have been going to Real Madrid. It's absolutely crazy, but now Lionel Messi makes the jump here, and we continue on with the massive player departures. Now this is a bit of a controversial one. The Uruguayan striker has made the move to Manchester United. That's right, Luis Suarez is back in the Premier League, this time not for Liverpool, for Manchester United. He's going to Old Trafford. I don't know if any Manchester United fan would ever want this, but Luis Suarez in this career mode is off to United for £84.5 million. Some things just only happen in FIFA 19. So the ex-Manchester United defender slash midfielder Daley Blind is coming to Barcelona. He's making the move from Ajax, just like so many of the Dutchmen are doing in this rebuild challenge, for £24.5 million. A 29-year-old is a very versatile player, 82 overall. It's going to be a great squad rotation player. And we completed a little triple swoop here. We picked up Justin Kluivert for £18.7 million. Patrick Kluivert's son, of course the AC Milan legend's son, is making his way to Barcelona for the Dutch Rebuild Challenge. He is departing Roma, the 20-year-old winger, 78 overall, as well as another ex-Roma player, Kevin Strootman, now making the move from Marseille for £20.8 million. So a decent back-to-back-to-back signings there. So yet another player is going to be joining the club for the sake of just squad depth and squad rotation. It is going to be Davy Klaassen joining us from Werder Bremen, ex-Evertonian, ex-Ajax player as well, for £26.6 million. The 26-year-old centre midfielder, 81 overalls, just a decent player to have in the side, and is going to be joining Barcelona here. So the player who just came back on loan from his loan spell at Arsenal, it is going to be Denis Suarez making the switch to the other North London club. It is going to be Spurs making a signing here. Mauricio Pochettino signing the Spanish midfielder for £19.1 million. A 25-year-old, 81 overall, is off to the Premier League. So a minor player departure here. The Spanish midfielder Charles Alenia is off to RB Leipzig. He's going to the Bundesliga. The £15.8 million signing for RB Leipzig, 21-year-old midfielder, is going to be departing the club. So yet another minor Spanish departure here. It is going to be Abel Ruiz, the 19-year-old striker, is off to Italy. He is making the switch to Benevento for £3.75 million. Good luck in Italy. And Everton buy back their loanee in Andre Gomes, the Portuguese midfielder, is going back to the Premier League this time on a permanent basis for £29.8 million. We've ended up promoting a few youth talents to the first team. It is going to be Janssen, Van Leeuwen, Vos, Hendricks, and Durist. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. But all those 5 players have accepted and they have been promoted to the first team, so hopefully we can see them grow over the course of this rebuild challenge. So this is going to be the side going into the Super Copa final up against Real Madrid, kind of like the pre-season silverware tournament that we can get our hands on here. That is the side going into it. Messi is coming up against us, Dembele is coming up against us. We're going to go ahead and skip, and we still end up getting the victory here. Quincy Promes and De Jong with the goals, Carvajal halving the deficit there, but we end up winning the Super Copa for the 2nd year in a row. So West Ham win the race here for Marc Cucurella, the left back. The Spaniard is off to the Premier League. He's off to West London for £18 million. The 21-year-old was on loan at Eibar last season, but he's come back and we've made a little profit on him. And it's another absolutely insane transfer here. Juventus have activated the release clause of the Brazilian Philippe Coutinho, £97.7 million for the ex-Liverpool midfielder slash winger, 87 overall. Absolutely crazy money going on here for Philippe Coutinho, and yeah, the departures just keep on coming here at Barcelona, and Coutinho is linking up with Ronaldo in Serie A. Farewell, Philippe Coutinho. So it's a bit less than £97.7 million for Coutinho, but it's another minor departure here. Cardona is off to Fenerbahce for £7.2 million. A 24-year-old striker is making the switch to Turkey. And it's another major player departure here. The Chilean midfielder Arturo Vidal is off to the Premier League. He's joining up with Pep Guardiola yet again for £20.7 million. The 32-year-old midfielder, now 83 overall. He's off to join Man City. And Spurs sign another one of our players. Yet another midfielder is departing the club. The Brazilian Rafinha is off to the Premier League for £28.7 million, and now 26-year-old makes the switch to Spurs. And Atletico Madrid have activated the release clause of our French centre-back Clement Lenglet, £72 million for the 24-year-old. He is off to yet another La Liga club. So many release clauses being paid in this video, but thankful they're all headed out the club. The non-Dutch players keep on departing, and I'm happy with that one. 72 mil in the bank for Lenglet. So this is our Champions League group for season number 2. We've been drawn into Group H, and let's just say it's a bit of an easy group. Leverkusen, Besiktas, and Dynamo Kiev. We're going to be facing off against them in Europe's elite competition. So it's 2 minor departures here. It's going to be one on deadline day. Miranda, the left back, the Spaniard, is off to West Brom for £3.2 million, as well as Wagyu off to England as well. He is joining Leeds United for £3.15 million. The 20-year-old Senegalese right back. Both minor departures, both making the switch to England. So Ricky Puig, the next player to join the minor departures list, the young Spanish midfielder who has very high potential in FIFA 19, is joining the Turkish side in Beşiktaş for £9.2 million. And it really has been the transfer window of departures here. £681.4 million worth of players have departed the club, and we only ended up spending £128.9 million this transfer window. Yet another hectic one here in season number 2. Although we did get a few youth players here and there's still a few players that aren't Dutch in the side, but very soon Barcelona will be transformed into an all-Dutch side. This is going to be the team going into season number 2. Let's see how Jordi Cruyff's Dutchmen do in season number 2. We're into January, and it looks like we're underperforming here in the first half of the season. 28 points for Barca, sitting in 6th position. We are 5 points away from the top 4 places, but Real Madrid currently on top, Real Betis, Levante and Atletico Madrid currently in the top 4, but we got a lot of work to do in the second half of the season if we want to qualify for next year's Champions League. We're still in the Copa de España round of 16 against Espanyol, and we pulled through in our Champions League Group H as well, beating out Bayer Leverkusen and Beşiktaş. It ended up being quite a close affair in there, 13 points for the Dutch boys, as well as Leverkusen with 11. Beşiktaş go to the Europa League, but we have PSG in the round of 16. So we've kicked off January here with one of our last non-Dutch departures here, with Malcolm, the Brazilian winger, joining Watford for £61.9 million. The 22-year-old winger is off to England. I don't know where Watford got £61 million from, but they've picked up Malcolm. What a signing for them. And the second last non-Dutch player to be departing the club, it is going to be the 23-year-old Spanish right back, Sergio Palencia. He's off to the Serie A. He's moving to Sassuolo on a free transfer. Great pickup for them. So we're going to go ahead and future-proof the squad a little bit here in the January transfer window. We pick up the 18-year-old centre-back, Sepp Vandenberg from PEC Zwolle in the Dutch league for £1.3 million. He's got a crazy potential on FIFA 19 career mode. Somehow he feels like he's underpaid. I don't know why that is. He shouldn't have accepted the contract. But anyway, Sepp Vandenberg joins Barcelona. So the Dutch invasion, future-proofing of Barcelona and the Dutch rebuild continues here on deadline day. We've completed a lot of transfers in a row here. First of all, we're going to pick up Kochku for £6 million. The 19-year-old centre attacking midfielder makes his way from Feyenoord, and the rest of these young Dutch talents make their way over to Barcelona. Here we have Taith Chong joining us for £3.5 million, a Hatrin for £2.1 million. The young Liverpool talent, the 18-year-old right back Kia Jana coming for less than £1 million. Dilrusen coming from Hertha Berlin for £13.4 million, and that is going to wrap up our young Dutch future-proofing plan for January transfer window. Great business done by Jordi Cruyff. So season 2 January transfer deadline day is going to conclude here. We ended up spending £27.2 million, promoting a few youth players, getting a lot of young Dutch talent that's going to develop over the years. That's going to be it. This is the side going into the second half of season number 2, pushing for the Champions League, pushing to qualify for next season as well. And we just have an abundance of Dutch youth and talent here in the squad, including some youth academy prospects as well. There's one last player we need to sell in Todibo, the French centre-back, but otherwise the rest of the club is all Dutch. So we've reached the end of season number 2, and we've somehow recovered from our poor start in the first half of the season. We ended up finishing in third with 68 points. There's only 3 points in a very tight race for Champions League football. We end up qualifying for season number 3. Atletico Madrid finishing in second, and Real Madrid on top there with Lionel Messi with 84 points. Deportivo, Las Palmas, and Girona all going down. We ended up getting knocked out in the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey 2-1 to Real Betis, and it was Atletico Madrid that ended up winning it all. So after we progressed out of our group, we made it through to the quarterfinals, ended up getting knocked out by Real Madrid 2 years in a row, this time in the quarterfinals 5-3 on aggregate. What an amazing game. Now it's Atletico Madrid and Manchester City in the final. So no silverware for Jordi Cruyff this season, but we have some great players to look forward to in season number 3, as they're only just growing heaps. Van der Beek with 7 goals, 7 assists. Gini Wijnaldum still in there with 10 goals, 8 assists. Bergwijn being our star player, our top goal scorer this season, and pretty much our best player on the pitch. 22 goals and 6 assists. Van Dijk with 14 clean sheets. Blind getting a few in there as well. Frankie de Jong doing his part. Memphis Depay, yet again, another solid, consistent performer. De Jong off the bench doing quite well. Quincy Promes in there as well as we move down. And yeah, the rest of the players not really getting that much game time, not too much action. But those are going to be our star performers and stats for season number 2. We've got a lot of work to do in season number 3 if we want to make a charge for the Champions League trophy. But hopefully the Dutch boys can pull it off. So we're starting off here in season number 3. And we get the email confirmation that Todibo and Palencia have in fact left the club. Meaning that we have an all-Dutch side, an all-Dutch club. We get £825.6 million to spend. I have no idea what I'm going to spend it on. But we'll look and see if any Dutch players are willing to come and join us here at Barcelona. It is going to be an absolutely epic season in our push towards the Champions League. So yet another promising Dutch player comes and joins us here for Jordi Cruyff's men. The Dutch revolution continues with Arnoud Danjuma Groveneld. I have no idea how to pronounce his name, but he's going to be wearing the number 33 for £20 million, the 23-year-old, as we continue to future-proof the squad. And we finally bring in a third backup keeper for Sillerson and Zoet. It is going to be Justin Bilio. I have no idea how to pronounce his name, but it's going to be wearing the number 12 for $9.3 million. The 22-year-old will be joining us. Welcome to Barcelona. And we're really focusing on the squad depth this season as we bring in yet another attacker. It's going to be Malin, the 21-year-old left winger slash striker, 78 overall. We picked him up for £14 million from Cruzeiro, but Malin, yet another Dutch talent. And we're going absolutely ham in season number 3. We're doing a massive Dutch takeover. And for £20 million, we pick up a quality striker in Weghorst. For £20 million, he arrives from Wolfsburg. The 27-year-old, 81 overall, just a decent striker to have. And we're just taking over Dutch football at the moment. So it's probably going to be our last signing of the transfer window, Gus or Gus Till. We're signing up all the youngsters just for the squad depth, just to flex. And the 22-year-old centre attacker midfielder, 79 overall, headed to Barcelona for £20 million. Welcome to the Dutch Revolution. So this is our Champions League group for season number 3. We get Manchester United, Dynamo Kiev, and Feyenoord Dutch team, which will be pretty interesting when we come up against them, but hopefully we can get out of Group C and progress through to the knockout round. And that is going to be it for the summer transfer window. We spent £83.3 million, no sales to worry about. It's going to do it for us. I have faith in the lads, even though Bergwijn's picked up an injury. Take a look at our squad depth. We pretty much have all the young Dutch talent in the game at the moment. We're going to continue with these boys and hopefully have a big season ahead of us. Let's see how they do in season number 3. So we're halfway through season 3 and we're sitting in 3rd position here with 31 points, 5 points behind Sevilla. Real Madrid running away with it at the moment. Atletico Madrid sitting in 4th position as well. So we're still in the Copa de España. We are up against Villarreal in the round of 16. And we end up making it out of our Champions League group by the skin of our teeth here, only by 1 point. Dynamo Kiev go to the Europa League. Meanwhile, Manchester United finish out on top, but we still get in nonetheless. And we are coming up against Inter Milan in the round of 16. So no business to be done on January transfer deadline day, or no business to be done in general in the whole transfer window. We're going to end it right there and hopefully progress through to the second half of season number 3. We've got the squad depth, we've got the squad quality, we've got the youth talents in the team. Now it's time to show some results. So we're at the back end of season number 3 and we're in big boy territory here. It's Champions League semi-final time, and we've made it in by beating Inter Milan 3-2 in aggregate, beating PSG 3-2 in aggregate, and now we've got Napoli in the Champions League. Man City and Milan are going to fight out in the second semi-final, but we saw the team going into it. It's going to be the first home leg to start us off here. Hopefully, we can get a few home goals in order to take to the São Paulo. Can we expect some big performances here in the semi-final? Surely Morata gets Napoli underway here in the 13th minute. Crucial away goal for the Neapolitan, and it's going to finish 2-2. So we need to score heading to Italy. Alright, so the Barca Dutch boys, they're ready to take on Napoli away from home. That is the side going into it. They're fully rested, so hopefully in the second leg they can do the business. We need to remember that we need to score. We need big performances in from the boys. Van Dijk gets injured. You're kidding me. Our best player, the captain of the side, goes down with 30 minutes in. We're going to skip it, and we get the one goal we needed to progress through to the final. Quincy Promes turns up in the 58th minute to get the away goal at the São Paulo, and Napoli are stunned here. They thought they had it after their 2 away goals, but we edge it on aggregate for the 3rd time in a row. 3-2. 3-day injury. Thankfully, Van Dijk will be playing in the final. So at the end of season number 3, Cruyff's men end up finishing in 4th position with 65 points. We made it by 3 points. Real Madrid absolutely crushing the league, nearly going invincible. But if we don't win the Champions League final tonight, we can always go at it in season number 4. So Real Oviedo, Leganés and Eibar all getting relegated. We crashed out in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey to Real Madrid, and it was Atletico Madrid that went on and won it. So before we get into the Champions League final up against Manchester City, we're going to be going over the squad for one last time before we get into the match. We're going to be going over the squad that we've built in these last 3 seasons and looking at all our hard work here in the squad hub. I'm actually pretty happy with what we've done with this team. We've bought pretty much all the Dutch talent we could get our hands on. I know we pretty much had unlimited money, but it was very fun while it lasted. All the Dutchmen in here are very, very strong side. Obviously, I've got a very, very bright future. There's still some wonder kids that haven't even grown to their full potential. We had some youth academy prospects in here as well. Frankie de Jong, a lot of young, promising talent for the Netherlands, and they should be looking forward to the future here. Obviously, we've got a few youngsters in there, but there's some main ones like Van de Beek. Jacobs was our potential to be special youth academy prospect. Then we move on to the likes of Depay. Chong, still yet to grow, still 21. And then, yeah, we had some more youth academy talents. Justin Kluivert, Bergwijn. Yeah, the team is just insane. A mix of youth, a mix of a little bit of experience, just creates an awesome Dutch Barcelona rebuild squad. Jordi Cruyff has done it well here. Hopefully, they can go out and win the Champions League. Alright, Gabriel Jesus is going to kick us off here for the Champions League final. Oh no, already. Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, no way. Delete got to him. Are you kidding me? De Ligt got to him, tackled, and he got the ball straight back. Not even Kevin De Bruyne expected that in that whole passage of play. And we go 1-0 down within 3 minutes. This is going to be the worst start to a Champions League final ever. Our whole defense just got passed by De Bruyne. De Ligt, I thought he had it. Got straight back to him. De Bruyne made no mistake. Absolutely smashed it into the top left-hand corner. And Sillerson had no chance. Van der Beek. De Jong, can he find Memphis again? Yes, he does. Down this left-hand side, the ex-Man United boy. Can he get a goal against Man City? Just wide of the post. Come on, Memphis. Memphis Depay holds it up for Quincy Promes. Come on, Quincy Promes. And Walker is in the no way. Oh, come on. That's so soft. That's so soft. Genie Wijnaldum, the captain, who gave him captaincy? Because he does not deserve to be captain after doing that. Oh, come on, Sillerson. I know you got it in you. Gabriel Jesus is going to take it. He's going left. Come on, Jasper Sillerson. Get that up, your Man City. With your bullshit penalty. Oh, that's 2. And Leroy Sané just dispatches it like it's just easy. They just pass straight through us like we're not even there. Leroy Sané, absolute gun on this game. And he's done us dirty right there. Gabriel Jesus finds it. No, it was Kevin De Bruyne, their player of the match so far. A goal and an assist for the Belgian. And a first time finish from Leroy Sané. Yep, cool as you like. Memphis, hit that one, son. Get that in ya. Man City have been dominating us this whole time. We get one strike. Memphis has been isolated the whole first half. We get a few lucky bounces towards us. And what a strike from Memphis Depay. An absolute left rocket from him. And that is exactly what we needed before halftime. Halving the deficit against our former keeper, Ter Stegen, as well. What a goal from Memphis Depay. That's exactly what we needed. The big player steps up in the big moment. And it's 2-1. And that is going to be halftime. Thankfully, we've halved the deficit from 2-0 down. Now we're at 2-1. We got a second 45 to get the equalizer and possibly the winner. Memphis? Oh, that's beautiful. Come on, Proms! Proms! Quincy! The boy gets the equalizer. What a finish from Quincy Proms. Still off kickoff. We had the ball. And somehow Quincy Proms gets his foot to that one. We get the equalizer to make it 2-2. We aren't messing around in this second 45. What a ball in from Frankie de Jong. Splitting open the Man City defense in between the lines. And Proms wins the foot race with David Alaba. Has a left foot finesse shot. And nestles that one into the bottom right hand corner to Stegen. We've only had 2 shots on target. He hasn't saved one. De Jong, can he get a good ball in again? He does. It's Bergwijn, not 2 in 2 minutes. Bergwijn, why did he take it with his left foot? He's hit the side netting. Proms, Van der Beek, Bergwijn, Memphis through to Quincy Proms, and he gets a double. A brace in the not the World Cup, a brace in the Champions League final for the winger, Quincy Promes. An unexpected hero here, but he has done the business. Really upped our game here in the second half. The halftime talk from Cruyff has really got the Barcelona boys going, and the Dutchmen are 3-2 up after being 2-0 down in this one. Memphis Depay with a beautiful bit of skill work in there. And then he slotted the ball into Quincy Proms. He did the rest, was in a bit of open space, and finessed that one into the bottom right-hand corner. It's a goal with his left foot, a goal with his right foot. He is on a hat-trick at the moment. Quincy Promes, what a game so far with 3-2 up. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Johan Cruyff football. This is beautiful from the Dutchman. What a goal. What a beautiful piece of team play there. And it's going to be Bergwijn, the left winger, to finish the move off to make it 4-2. And in the 75th minute, we've absolutely Dutch tiki-taka football. Even Johan Cruyff would be proud of that goal. Bergwijn doing us proud here. Barcelona now 4-2 up in the Champions League final. What a turnaround from Jordi Cruyff's men. We are about to do it here. We need to hold on for the last few minutes here, but that's probably one of the greatest goals I've scored. Alright, so it's going to be our first substitution of the final. The man with the brace, Quincy Promes, coming on for Justin Kluivert. The Man City defense on the ropes Frankie de Jong. Can he find a good ball in? We're going to cut it back. We're going to bring it to Van der Beek. We're going to bring it to Memphis Depay to finish it. And it's the ex-Manchester United boy, Memphis Depay, scoring against Manchester City. What a way to finish off this final and surely securing us the Champions League trophy for the Dutchman. Memphis Depay, the star of this team, the man up front, has found himself a brace in the final. 10 minutes to play. We're 5-2 up. Ter Stegen doesn't know what's hit him. And it was just a bit of patient play there. Van der Beek with a cheeky back heel assist. And Memphis Depay off the post and in for the striker. Alright, so we're bringing on Rosario for Genie Wijnaldum just so the captaincy changes to Van Dijk. Just so Van Dijk lifts up the Champions League trophy for this side. And that is the full-time whistle here. Jordi Cruyff's men is successful against Manchester City, and we have completed the Barcelona Dutch Rebuild Challenge. What a final that was. That's probably one of the best finals I've ever recorded. 2-0 down, swapping it to 5-2. We snapped at halftime. We came out ready to smash Manchester City, and that's exactly what we did here. What a rebuild challenge, guys. Hopefully it lived up to the hype. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to smack the like button on the video. Subscribe down below for more FIFA 19 career mode content. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Comment down below if you got any more rebuild challenges for me to do. But that has been it, guys. I'm going to leave you with some Dutch Barcelona rebuild celebrations.
Never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try.